First one is Saquon's mom talking trash about the Giants. There she is with her Campbell's chunky soup. It's literally where that picture came from, that commercial. She was she was talking to a press after the NFC Championship game, and she was asked point blank why Barkley never reached the level with the Giants that he has with the Eagles. And she said, "You really want me to answer that? Everyone else knows why it didn't happen. It's great for him to finally be somewhere where he was able to showcase his talent without people talking about this or that, hearing that running backs don't deserve this or deserve that. Yeah, okay, now we see." Seems like Mamba got some pent-up frustration there.
Just a bit.
Just a smidge there. And listen, I've said it all along. Listen, Saquon's having an excellent season. One of the best seasons you'll ever see a running back do in your lifetime, like point blank. There's no taking that away from him whatsoever. But his mama got to realize some few things here. One, the graphic keeps going around about, okay, look at the Packers, the Eagles, the Ravens, they picked up running backs. Look how great they're doing this year. Well, yeah, but were the Raiders that good with them? Were the Titans that good with him? Were the Giants that good with Saquon? Like, can you really sit here and tell me the offense was that much worse last year because we didn't have Saquon?
We won half the games.
I get, and I'm not trying to like belittle or be mean about it with Saquon or his family or anything, but it's like I look at the Giants offense, and yes, it was absolutely inept. But Tyrone Tracy Jr. did just about as good this year as Saquon did last year. Like, there wasn't a huge drop-off from the production we got.
Yeah.
So I do think that they need to kind of understand that part of it, that it was a business decision. Did the Giants go about it in the best way? No, of course not. Absolutely not. I'll tell you that myself.
All right. So what was Tracy's salary this past year?
Jack and shit?
Yeah, less than $1 million.
I mean, it's 5th round pick, not going to get much.
Yeah, so what's he, like 700,000? Where it is?
I can look it up here. I was actually looking something else up here. Let's talk about it in a second. Let me take a look here. It's going to take me a second.
Yeah. All I'm just saying is you're talking about a guy that literally, like, Barkley is one of the best. There's nothing you can take away from that.
100%.
He is phenomenal. But at that point, you don't pay a running back on a team you're trying to rebuild. It's where Shane came from. Like, do you agree with everything the way Shane handled it?
No.
Probably not. But what you got to look at is now you got a rookie guy that you picked up really late in the draft who's cost you probably less than $1 million, which is over 13 times cheaper, probably going to be closer to the vicinity of 17 times cheaper. And yes, did he put up 200,000 yards this year? No.
Well, 2,000, not 200,000.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
That'd be the best season ever by far.
Tenfold. Yeah. Well, 1,000-fold. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you took a little bit of a pay cut, well, a big pay cut to take a little bit less production, and a team that you're trying to rebuild.
Yeah.
So you build yourself back up the line, build yourself a better quarterback, do the right moves, and then you pay the running back. The one time you should really be paying a running back, top tier running back like that is where you're a playoff team.
Yeah, and by the way, this number is 866,500. I'll give it the half. That's nice. Really what he's making on the cap this year. Well, just doesn't even hit over like $1.25 million.
Yeah, so
rookie
Barkley, if you would have paid him $13 million, was making 15 times.
I don't see the big drop off in the offense. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to what Barkley did. Great season. I'm not trying to take that away. But I think the other thing that his mama got to realize is this is the same team that made DeAndre Swift 1,000-yard rusher. Point blank. This is the same team that made Miles Sanders a 1,200-yard rusher. Like you got to recognize some of that stuff there. You know, it's like there's part of that equation into there. Like the Eagles the last couple of years have literally made running backs. What did DeAndre Swift do last year? Absolutely nothing.
Hey, it fell off the wagon. All the guys that moved. And
yeah. Look at Miles Sanders. He hasn't even had 600 yards in 2 seasons. He had 200 yards this past season. That's all he had. You know, and you look at the yardage per attempt for DeAndre Swift. He went from 4.6 last year to 3.8 this year.
Yeah.
I just think that there's got to be concessions made on both sides to a certain degree on this whole thing. Like, was Shane a bit of a jerk? Yes, 100%. 100%. We've never said otherwise. We've not been fans of Shane. We don't sit there and back him. But at the same point, people got to recognize, including Saquon and his family, that part of the reason Saquon is having such a great year this year is because of the offense he's in, because of the offensive line he has. And you don't take that away from Saquon. But you got to, and I'm not saying like put an asterisk on a season or anything like that. I'm not trying to be crazy like that. But I think you got to include that as part of the equation when you go like, if the Giants should or should not have re-signed him.
Yeah. You're looking at a player that has not put up that kind of yards for the Giants.
No.
And ever. And you got to also remember would he have had a better season if he would have stayed this year than last year? Yes, 100%, because the offensive line didn't improve. But then you go into the struggle of the quarterback play. So then we know where the balls come from. At least when you go to the Eagles, better offensive line, better quarterback play, great receivers on the field. So it allows the guys when they go to play action, are they actually throwing it or are they actually running it? When we went to play action last year, 80% of the time it was a run play.
Yep.
Probably 90% of the time it was a run play. It wasn't play action at all. It was let's act like we're going to throw the ball and then don't.
Yeah, it's like I said, the offense is horrendous this year. Last year, it's been horrendous for years. And I just look at what Saquon did for us, and I appreciate what he did. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not trying to be as bad as Shane. I just think, like I said, they got to recognize some of his success at the very least he's having this year.
Yeah.
His game. Some of his success having this year is because of the line. Some of his success is because, like you mentioned, there's now the threat of actually passing the ball, which there hasn't been when Saquon was a Giant. You know, there's all these factors that go into it there. So congrats on the season. Like, I'm not trying to hate on Barkley. Though I wish it was a different team he was having the season with.
Yeah.
But in the end, I don't get the bitterness that his mom has towards the team like that. It's like, move on. Because now you got people like us and people, talking heads that across ESPN and Fox Sports that are going to talk about this stuff now.
Well,
and that's not what Saquon needs.
No, it's not.
I mean? Like, that's not what Saquon needs going into his very first Super Bowl.
No, that's just his mom being a mama. That's exactly what it is. It's like
stick to your Campbell's Chunky Soup commercials. Because this is not doing your son any service whatsoever. And it's we talk about this all the time with people whose family members talk often and talk negatively. Like, how much was it Jackson Mahomes? Is that the name of Patrick Mahomes' brother? That gets dragged on all the time for saying stupid stuff. But then you got somebody like, Donna Kelsey, who is like America's mom to a certain degree because she's just happy-go-lucky, never talks trash because she lets her kids handle that part. That's what your role is. You're not supposed to make it more difficult. So, like I said, I ain't got nothing but respect for what Barkley did as a Giant. I really don't. But I think that a year later to be still making this, Who hurt you? Like, get over it. Like,
Yeah.
you're in a better place for your son's in a better place to showcase his talents. That's obvious. It's just like I said. It's crazy to me. Just move on. Move on.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.